fulfilling that purpose, and being able to wake up every day or realize, hey, you know what, farming's a lot of fun, business is fun, my family's in it, my son's in it. Sometimes we make money, sometimes we lose money in agriculture. It's never like a home run, but man, it's fulfilling, right? We're making food, we're feeding people, but like getting people, to realize their value and their worth and helping them in their journey, that just really, really kind of connected with me. And that's really got a hold of me since January, February of this past year. So that's kind of been my journey, even more so than, hey, I need to, go for myself. And I was like, okay, now I'm ready to kind of give back or help or, be part of the process of men finding their purpose and finding God themselves.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Big Hitters Podcast. I'm joined by my friend Jack Pirtle, who's a friend of mine from Rise Up Kings, and he is a partner of P7 LLC and also Pirtle Farms. And I'm excited to talk to him about all things farming today. We haven't had a farmer on the show. And so, Jack, tell us your story, man. How'd you wind up in farming and dairy?
Okay, so I think this is how most people end up in farming, or dairy is kind of born into it, right? So let's see here, fourth generation here in Roswell, New Mexico. So my dad was born here in Roswell. His dad, my grandpa, was born here in Roswell, and so my great grandfather came, I think, from Oklahoma back in the early 20s. Kind of rooted here. Doing some alfalfa hay, cotton farming for a long time. And then there was a migration of dairies from Central California or Southern California back in late 80s, early 90s. And so there was just an influx of dairy farmers that moved into the area, selling land in California, moving out to New Mexico. And so we kind of took advantage of that and were able to kind of grow into the size farm we are today. And in 2007 had an opportunity to kind of get in the dairy business ourselves. So we've only been in the dairy business part of it since 2007. I was kind of picked out of my cousins and brothers and sisters as one to kind of run the dairy portion of the business. And so here we are, gosh, what is it, 18 years later, and running a 6,000 cow Jersey dairy with like 14,000 head total on the property.
So I don't know anything about farming, so I'm so curious. Out of curiosity, what kind of numbers can you give us to help the audience understand the size or scope? So 6,000 cattle, 14,000 heads, you said.
Yeah.
And like overall revenue, or how much production you guys do, or how much land you have.
Okay. Yeah, so to kind of give you an idea, so we're milking 6,000, but it takes quite a few more. We raise the babies, so the replacement heifers. We raise those, so they're born every day. I probably have between 20 and 30 newborns every day, and so we're raising those up, and so we have a total number from day olds on up to milking herd is the 14,000, and we're producing like 6 tanker loads of milk, like 300 to 320,000 pounds of milk per day. And the Jerseys, we're running probably an average of like a 5% fat and a 4.5% protein. So enough to supply the surrounding area. It goes all to a cheese plant. It's like 99% of my milk goes to the Pirtle cheese plant that's like 3 miles down the road. Pretty big.
So for the most part, it's actually going primarily into cheese. It's not going into jugs of milk or anything like that.
No, so we were part of Select Milk Producers, which were Fairlife and Core Power came out of the Select Dairy Producers. One of the dairymen was a founder of that, and so Coca-Cola actually just bought that part of the company from us, and so some of my milk was going to that, and it may in the future. kind of go into some fluid milk through that. But like right now, when the cheese plant's only 3 miles away, it only makes sense to go there. It's really expensive to haul milk. It's mainly water, so it stays local or goes to the closest plant.
So, okay, I have so many questions, but one of them is like, what do you do all day? Are you doing like Excel spreadsheets and business management, or are you, wrangling cows? Like, what do you spend your time doing?
So it's kind of changed over time, right? When I first started, I was doing everything. When we started with 350 cows, so I was in charge of all kinds of stuff. I would feed the cows. I would help milk the cows. I was also doing the Excel spreadsheet you're talking about when we would feed the cows. So we used Excel to form a feed sheet or kind of a way of feeding them. And from that moment on, I was pretty progressive and was always looking for an opportunity to make things faster or more efficient, or how do we double or triple 4x what we're doing. And so I did a lot of automation. I did a lot of like automation. So my feed program is all automated. I'm not having to like punch in individual numbers anymore. I know it doesn't make sense to you or maybe anybody else, but there was a lot of numbers, a lot of hand entering information that's all kind of seamless now. Shoot, I got what you would think or what you kind of compare to a Fitbit on the cows. It goes around her neck and it traces her steps. And so, like when she's in heat, she takes like, I don't know, don't quote me, but like 70 or 80% more steps in a day than she normally would. So she has a baseline. Hey, she's in heat. It pulls her out so we can inseminate her. And then also, if she's not taking enough steps, she's at sick. And then we use it as identification. So we can sort her through some automated gates. Like right now, if I wanted to, from my phone or computer, say, hey, I want cow number 10,432 to, come out at 3 p.m. or whatever, and she'll be standing there waiting. So there's just all kinds of different things that I've instituted that has kind of pushed the automation so we could, go further and faster. But my day now, it's a lot of driving around in my pickup. It's kind of like my second office. And so I kind of grab a cup of coffee in the morning, put on the Bible app, and make one round kind of around the property. And then it's like 30, 45 minutes to make a round, come back in for a second cup, and then on to my mind focusing on, hey, what did I see? What kind of changes need to be made? What do we have on the schedule for today? What do I need to do? But not so much hands-on anymore, even though I did brand cattle and ear tag cattle yesterday because we were kind of short-handed, and then ran the truck. So I may be running a truck, I may be branding cattle or driving around telling other people what to do, or somewhere in between.
Jack, what do you feel like are some things that are going well with your business? And then what are some challenges you guys are facing?
I guess we'll start with going well. We I've been in this growth mode for quite a while, and it's just something that was just always inside of me. And I kind of talked about that. I always want to go 2x, 3x, and see where it goes. And so I think we finally kind of hit a like hey, we've kind of maxed out this property, maxed out this facility, kind of maxed out the size of farm that we are as far as how much feed that we use. And so we're just kind of in cruise control. And so if we can make little improvements here and there, we do that. Other than that, nothing. We're not trying to reinvent the wheel or do anything spectacular at the moment. Just kind of letting the dust settle from the past, 5-6 years of all the changes that I've made. So just letting the Jersey cows be Jerseys and letting God provide, the sunlight and the rain and what we need for our crops and getting that stuff harvested. So we just ended our corn harvest a couple weeks ago, and it was really, really good. We had a really mild summer with some help from the rain. And so, yeah, we're just kind of hanging out. The beef industry, I don't know, you may know, it's kind of at all-time highs. And so we're actually breeding and have been breeding a Charolais to the Jersey to come up with a cross calf that is doing really well in the feedlots, and so we're creating those calves, raising them up to 400 or 500 pounds, and selling those. So we're creating a lot of beef cattle going into the beef market. So was kind of my latest, I guess, new thing, and that's working out really well. That market is really, really good. Challenging, kind of like I think most businesses, is finding good help, qualified help, um, people willing to work, that are kind of have the same drive and same passion that I have. But agriculture is pretty tough. You're starting before the sun goes up, and sometimes after the sun goes down, and weekends and Christmas and all the things. I mean, we have to milk cows 24 hours a day. So keeping, and I got like 50 employees now. So back when we started, I probably had 10. So just keeping all the employees kind of in and around is a battle sometimes. Like we'll go through waves of losing 2 or 3, and it's like, oh my gosh, okay, what happened? And then we'll go through times where we're pretty good. So I think that's one of the biggest challenges, is just the employees.
Yeah. How do you typically find your employees? Where do they come from? Referrals or?
Some are referrals, some are at other dairies close by. Most of the ones that are hopping from dairy to dairy are not your best, and most of them are coming and looking for, because the pay's pretty good. Our pay scale is pretty competitive. We're close to an oil field, so those jobs pay even more. But if you're willing to kind of come and work those hours, and it's hard work, like you're compensated. So I think a lot of them are just, they know that the pay is well, and hey, we're going to come try it out. Some of them, it's just not meant for them. Like,
Yeah.
it's just too hard. But a lot of it is just ones that know that I am a dairy, and that I'm always looking for people, and they just kind of show up. We'll do like a short little interview, take their number down, and then if a position opens up, we'll call back certain ones.
Yeah. Let's talk about AI for a second. I literally, sometimes I know what the answer might be, but I actually genuinely don't know the answer here. Like, how is AI affecting farming, if at all?
The past 2 years, I've been really just kind of, like I said, we're just kind of cruising, and really focused on my faith, and focused on my personal life, and not really pushing too hard right now. And to be completely honest, I don't know. I'm not using it directly. It's not like I'm clicking on some app, or running any documents through AI at this moment. I know it's coming, and I know there's companies that I use, that track different things. And I'm thinking even strategies, or I do some hedging. I sell milk on the CME, and buy feed to help protect from higher prices of feed, and lower prices for milk. So, I'm sure there's something coming, but the short answer or whatever on that is I'm really not using anything different than I was, kind of 2 years ago as of yet.
Hmm. Okay. Where do you feel like it could affect where do you feel like you could be using AI? You're like, I'm pretty sure there's an AI, kind of like back when the app boom happened, there's an app for that, right? Do you feel like there's an AI for something, like a common problem that you see in your business?
Oh man, well, you know what? I am using these cameras that run. So the cameras that I've always had, just run through his feed, and then he uses, I'm guessing, some sort of AI or some kind of facial recognition and movement. And so, like, they're watching my milkers, their routine, who's there, who's not there, are they in position, out of position, did I have milk that spilled, like. So we're using cameras. So, like, different companies that I'm going to use, like, so surveillance, right? There actually is, I think, some um, companies even using facial recognition on cattle, or like certain spots, or and identifying. Right now, I'm identifying with a EID, electronic identification tag. It uses an antenna as she walks by, but but the future may be, hey, she just walks in front of a camera, or a camera system are watching her, and they know where she's at and what pin she's in, and then hey, it's time for her to move to a different pin or come out or whatever. Like it may turn into something like that. There was another company that uses um, cameras to see if maybe there's an infection in the udder by heat or infrared or something. So I'm guessing there's stuff kind of coming, or even like some drones flying around checking like how much feed the cows are eating, and if they need more, they need less. So that's like stuff that I do or my manager does that could be replaced by some automation, or if you want to call it AI, whatever you want to call it. And as far as maybe some reports, running some data through and giving some feedback, or I don't know. I'm just really new into the whole AI and what it can do. And I talked to a guy, and he's like, "Well, here I run," and I can't remember what he was running through there. Let's say a legal document, and ran a legal document, or said, "Hey, I need to make a legal document. I want to sell this building or do this lease or do that," and it, kind of ran that out. So I know there's probably some places to use it. I just really haven't tapped into it.
Okay. Let's talk about your faith and Rise Up Kings for a second. So that's how we know each other. And you said you've been on a faith journey the last 2 years. What are some ways that Rise Up Kings has affected you and your business and your family? What are some things that how's it affected?
Yeah, so I think it was a year and a half ago. I went in February of 24 to my refinery event, and I went for personal reasons. I went to I wasn't being the best husband, had made some mistakes, and it was like, man, I really need some change. I need to do something, and I wasn't really thinking about the business aspect of it, even though that was like part of the whole process. Like, hey, you can be better in your faith, your family, and your fitness and your finance. I was like, I'd be okay, but I just like it's not going to really fix a farm. Like, it's not, the farming is not a regular business. I was kind of limiting what I thought that Rise Up Kings could do, or what even God could do inside of my business. And so I went for myself to fix my marriage, and ended up figuring out that I needed to fix myself, and that I needed to have more faith in God. And so it took, I mean, it wasn't like an overnight deal. I had a really good change. I mean, I came out of the refinery kind of on fire for my business and for God. Um, but yeah, it took a minute, and kind of realizing what it actually meant to put God first. And so then, I backed up my refinery with volunteering, or actually I went to a RuckCon and then Forge really close after that, which is the next event. And then I was like, well, I'm going to volunteer. So I volunteered, I think, in January, and then again in April of this past year, and just really got a passion. And there's something about looking at a guy in his eyes, and being present with a guy when he has that moment, when he, I was just telling him, I told the guy he was doing an event, and he was still kind of struggling. And I was looking at him, I says, hey, even if you were the only guy to show up here, there was like 50 other guys, but if you were the only guy, I would have come for you. And I kind of clicked with this guy, and we had some really good talks, and you could just see his eyes kind of looking back in his history somewhere, and like, yeah, okay, this is why I'm at the event, and this is what I'm here for. And so I really enjoyed that part of it. And so you're talking about the faith side. So that really filled my cup, or filled my heart, full of the Holy Spirit, and full of like really what we're supposed to be doing, here as disciples or as servants on earth, for God, and fulfilling that purpose, and being able to wake up every day, or realize, hey, you know what, farming's a lot of fun. business is fun. Um, my family's in it. My son's in it. Um, and we can sometimes we make money, sometimes we lose money in agriculture. It's never like a home run, but man, it's fulfilling, right? We're making food, we're feeding people, but like getting people to realize their value and their worth, and helping them in their journey, that just really kind of connected with me, and that's really got a hold of me since January, actually January, February
Mm.
of this past year. So that's kind of been my journey, even more so than, hey, I need to go for myself. And I was like, okay, now I'm ready to kind of give back, or help, or be part of the process of men finding their purpose and finding God themselves.
Mm. That's good. Is there anything we haven't talked about today that you want to talk about?
Well, so that what we were just talking about, and you're asking about my business, and so I was and Rise of Kings, and I was sitting there. I don't know who was talking to me, then Skylar or John or Jeremy, but talking about like how you could almost take some of the stuff that we were learning and put it into our businesses. And like, okay, so I've got a business. I got 50 employees. Um, and I'm sitting there going, yeah, but they're not really talking to me. Most of my guys, like 98% of my guys speak Spanish. And some of them speak only Spanish. And it's like, well, I can't really institute, these things that we're learning, just with a language barrier. And I speak like limited Spanish, and I've got guys that speak both. That's how I kind of communicate with them, or I don't communicate with some of them. I got different managers in place that kind of take care of that. And so I was like, man, I don't know that's really for me. I don't know that I can do that. And I was really limiting God, and I've done that throughout my life. Like, oh well, that's not for me, or and so I was praying, and kind of like, hey God, open the doors, or if there's something I'm missing, or what can I do? And he got me, Eddie Barajas walked in, and he's the kind of the one that's kind of heading up the Rise Up Kings Espanol part. He was just getting it started, and he just walked right up to me, and he's like, do you have any Spanish speaking employees? And I'm like, yeah. Like, I got 40. Just met him. Like, he had no idea who I was or what I was doing. He's like, yeah, I got 40. He's like, you got to send them to this event. Like, it's in 3 months. I'm like, yeah, sure. I can't send them all, but I can send a few. And man, he stayed with that promise and was like, hey, who you got? Who you got? Finally, like, man, I'm really, I don't know. I don't know who I have. Like, I'm sure somebody. And so I picked 5 guys, got a meeting, put them in front of a computer with Eddie, and 4 of them decided, hey, yeah, let's go. And so they were supposed to go to Dallas, but they had to change the destination, and I'm in New Mexico, so it's like an 8-hour drive. And so we got to move it, and we're going to move it to Seattle. And I'm like, well, then I'm out. Like, I can't take my guys to Seattle. That's like a 24-hour drive. And so he's like, oh, well, Eddie never gave up on it, and I kind of was. And then one of my guys walked in. He said, "So this deal's canceled." And I'm like, "No, it's not canceled. We're leaving. That was like on a Tuesday, and we're leaving Thursday. So no, we're leaving Thursday." So I drove 4 of my guys 24 hours up to Seattle, and thought I was just going to drop them off, but Eddie ended up inviting me out to the property. And man, I didn't speak Spanish, but I spoke Holy Spirit, and it grabbed me and changed me in ways that I have a hard time even explaining. Kind of having the opportunity to take 4 of my guys that wouldn't necessarily have heard the message, and they all got baptized. They all accepted Christ, and they all came back changed. Like, they all came back different. One guy used to drink every day and wouldn't go in his house until, after his wife went to bed. And now he doesn't drink, and he gets home and gets to, barbecue, and his kids are like teenagers, so not necessarily playing with them anymore, but hanging out with them. And so getting to see that change. And then I'm on we've done it 3 times now. So I've sent 4 and 4 and 5. So I've sent, quite a few of my employees, and it's had a huge effect on their lives. And, if it pays back in business, great. If not, it will. Those guys they're different. They just come back different, and they're on fire for God, and know that there's a higher purpose than working hard and drinking beer after work. So, it's been a great journey. And who knows? I also went to Mexico 2 weeks ago and volunteered down in Morelia, Mexico. So, man, it just keeps opening up more doors for me to walk through, and I just keep walking through them and see where it takes me.
I love that. Well, Jack, if people want to learn more about, excuse me, who you are and what you do, where can they go?
So, want to find out more of who I am and what I do? I got a Facebook page, I guess. Reach out to me there if you have any questions. And I've been posting quite a bit of stuff, Rise Up Kings, and then some of the stuff with my guys. And then we do sell meat. We sell meat direct. It's kind of hard to send it really far, so it's more like local. But I think we're trying to figure out a way to maybe ship some of this local meat that we're processing, stuff that we grow ourselves, and so we have a TikTok and a Facebook page with Pirtle Farms or P7 Dairy, I think, and we've got some videos. I don't know if you've seen any of them that we've done, but just
I have seen. Yeah, they're great. I love following you on Facebook.
So we have 10,000 followers on TikTok, and the guy that's doing my videos for me said that's good, and I was like, really? And he's like, yeah. I was like, I don't know. I don't know what's good, not good. I used Facebook for marketplace only for a long time, and then here recently I've really kind of used it for just showing what God's doing in my life, and maybe it'll shine some direction for somebody else. But the videos, so we've done one shoot. I think it's about time to do another shoot, get some new videos put out there. But it's kind of some questions about kind of like what you're asking, just different things, and then what some of my beliefs are and what we're doing in the farming world.
Love that. Well, thanks for coming on the show. Don't go anywhere. I want to keep chopping it up with you, but thanks for coming on the podcast.
Yeah, for sure. It wasn't as bad as I thought.